This is my first attempt at a homemade heater in this sort of a sense. I've tried the candles before, just the candles themselves, but this particular one here, as I lift this off, you can see it's two jars, little small half pint or so mason jars with olive oil in it. And within each one of the jars I have a cotton ball, and the cotton ball basically soaked in the olive oil and lit, and then just more or less floating or just resting in the olive oil. And this is the result, and it seems to burn for a good while. For instance, what I have in there now, it's about 3/8 of an inch, maybe upwards to half an inch deep of olive oil, about a half inch or just a little less than a half inch of olive oil in the jars. And it burns probably approximately, from my today's test anyway, about 4 hours in length ish. About four, could get 4.5 hours out of it, and that's fairly good longevity, I think. And I just made this little stovepipe rig, I guess you could say, and what it does just brings the heat condensed in one area, and I plan to put a little fan either right here in front of it or maybe just above it right here on this, and as the heat rises it'll just blow the heat out. Of course, it's not going to probably heat your house or anything of that nature with just one of these, but maybe a couple of these would heat a small area half decently, reasonably keep the chill out anyways. As it is, this one right now, it's putting out some nice warmth. Even just as I had my hand here, I can feel a nice warmth all about right here. And if I had a fan blowing it over, it would be quite nice here just to keep the chill out of this small room. It's a small room I'm in. And this, I believe, would keep the chill out of a small room even as it is. But certainly if I had maybe 2 or 3 of these, 3 for sure, and in a room this size, what is it? It's about maybe an 8 by 10 or a 9 by 10 room here, and I think if 2 or 3 of these would keep it quite comfortable, I would think. One, maybe even this one would be just fine. But there it is, my ramblings of a heater, a do-it-yourself homemade heater. Maybe you'd like to try or perfect it yourself. And olive oil, it's great in the sense it's not such a fire hazard, because I've been noticing even when I've changed the wick in the oil today as part of the experiment. Basically, if you were to tip either of those over, the flame basically goes out, so it doesn't combust like a kerosene would or something else of that nature. The flame would basically just go out, almost like if you poured, blew it out or poured something over it to extinguish the flame. So it's fairly safe that way as well. So it works out kind of neat. Anyway, hopefully you can improve on this as well, or just take advantage of this. Thanks for tuning in.